Hi everyone. I hope that you are well. I hope that you are flourishing in following after and pursuing and also catching and taking hold of your dreams. I hope that you're in that position to do so today, not just in the material world, but in your mind. I wanted to share a few things, just a little bit with regard to religion. It's a hot button topic that's commonly brought up, mostly it's used in terms of us versus them, unfortunately. So I wanted to shed a little bit of perspective on that subject itself, and maybe give some light in areas that aren't commonly talked about. In the last video I did, I spoke on belief. Excuse me. And as with that video, I'm not currently editing these videos, so please bear with me as I'm just talking through it with you. Again, I encourage interaction, so if there are things that I bring up that you find as absolutely wrong, or you're indifferent to, or you have other perspective to share, please comment below. Like and comment and subscribe to this channel, and click on the bell below if you'd like to be notified when content arises. So, religion, as defined, as far as I could see, generally speaking, it is a term used specifically to identify a way of life. Now that's not even commonly discussed, because it's looked at as the religion itself, its mode of belief, and not the lifestyle of the people that believe that specific religion. So we'll go with the common religions of the world: Islam, Hinduism, Christianity, Buddhism, etc., as the major examples. And obviously there are a plethora more, but for this little discussion, I just wanted to keep those in mind. So if they are defined as a way of life, that to me is very easily identified when you look at a culture of people that believe a certain way, and the lifestyle which they lead as a result of the beliefs that they have. Islam and Judaism have very close ties. I know that sounds like a complete farce if you were to listen to common media and what they portray about Islam and Judaism, but here's a great example: the way in which they prepare food. They even today in the modern world use the same systems as a result of the religion that they are a part of. The lifestyle which they lead also means that they would prepare meat and food in a very specific manner, and each are identical. If you are Jewish, it's not common, but you can utilize halal foods which are prepared in that specific way. If you're a Muslim, you can use kosher foods. So if you travel any, you will realize very quickly that a good butcher is worth its weight in gold. So if you find a halal butcher, it's prepared in a kosher manner. If you find a kosher butcher, it's prepared in a halal manner. So they shop at those places, though they would not commonly say that. Just an example of a way of life. So, I wanted to follow up on the last video that I did with regard to belief and how much it's intricately woven into the fabric of who we are, even down to the cellular level. Well, clearly a Muslim believes certain things differently than a Jew. A Hindu and a Hare Krishna believe certain things differently. A Protestant Christian and a Catholic have beliefs that are different. So, what I also find interesting is your identity within each religion is defined by what you believe. And if you believe differently, you are not a part of that way of life. Not commonly. The only exception I can actually think of in that is Sikh religion, which actually believes that whatever religion, whatever way of life you're a part of, to be the very best at that, and that is all. But commonly, you are not a part of the club, so to speak, if you believe differently than the beliefs that are set out for that religion. So, if you believe that the Pope's position is divinely inspired, that the Holy See is divinely inspired and is a holy position set to apostolically oversee the church around the world, you believe differently than a common Protestant Christian. Which also means that that belief would not be accepted within the parameters of Protestant religion. Not commonly. And what I find within the subject matter of religion that's not talked about often is that you're handed a very specific way of believing. Nothing more and nothing less is acceptable except the specific parameters of the belief of that specific religion. Now, if you think about that in depth, that permeates itself just as kosher food and halal food permeates itself through the lifestyle of the Muslim or the Jew. That means that the pre-subscribed beliefs that you hold to are handed to you. I want to interject this from my perspective. And this is, I don't know many people that speak on this a lot, so bear with me, please comment, please, interject. But I don't know that it's possible for two human beings, let alone major groups of people, to believe identically. Why do I say that? Because from my experience, I've known twins who have been in the same house, under very strict controls, even wore the same clothing, went through the same type of lifestyle that their parents set forth for them, but they believed different things, and I actually know multiple sets of twins that were identical and yet went different ways, believed different things, and as a result their lives are different. So I want to ask you, how is it possible that we can take a pre-subscribed way of living, put it together, and expect everyone within the room to believe the same thing? How is that even possible? I know for a fact that my wife, born and raised in Kansas City, and myself, born and raised in Timbuktu and everywhere else I've ever lived in the world, our beliefs, we love one another deeply, and we have children, and we integrate our life closely, intimately knit together in so many ways, and yet we believe differently because it is, by my view, impossible for two humans to look identical and dress identical and eat identical and believe identical. It's impossible for, in my view, for two human beings to have identical beliefs and to hold someone to a standard which they cannot meet because they have a different view and very so slightly different belief than you is a bar that cannot be jumped over. There are answers to that. There are answers, but I want dialogue and I want interaction on the subject matter because I don't find it, and I study a lot, and I search the world over to find those that believe or agree with this. But you tell me how any two human beings on the planet can believe the same. And I'll tell you the very specific issue where religion is concerned. Why? Because, let's just say with Protestant Christianity, you can love Christ. You can love Him for everything that He's done for you and in bringing you to new life. And you love in a different way than Joe down the street or Sipo in another village. Why? Because we have such a different life from one another. This is not a bad thing. If you look at the facet of a gem or a diamond, facets are made to project light in a way that there's few other examples in the world. Different facets create the projection of light that you won't find anywhere else. I look differently than you. I think differently. I operate differently. You might not like the curry that I eat. But I tell you what, one thing is for very certain. We could be common on all of those things and really similar, but our beliefs will be different. Even if we agree that we, love Jesus, and that we believe that His Word, that the Word, the Bible, is a divinely inspired book of types and shadows made for us. We could believe on all of those intricacies And yet the way in which we believe those things is specifically different. And I think, to be honest, the reason those differences are there is because we were created differently on purpose. On purpose. There's nothing more beautiful to me than diversity. There's nothing more beautiful to me than seeing people of diverse background not agreeing on a subject matter and still having care and love and compassion and generosity towards one another. I've seen it. I know that it exists. No matter what the common media throw at you and what you receive in bombardment all day long by the eye and by the ear, there are people that have very specific differences of opinion and what they believe, and still have love and compassion and care for one another in the world. That's a common thing. Travel just a little bit, you're going to find that. It's not us versus them. Religion is a very specific matter, and the way in which people think about it varies on every scale you could imagine. One thing's for sure: the reason we're different is because someone painted the most beautiful tapestry, or just sewed together the most beautiful tapestry, or or painted the most beautiful painting, and did it on purpose, so that these differences, even with belief, could show the facets of humanity and how beautiful they are. One thing's for sure: in that kind of diversity, when light shines on it, everyone can see it. I hope that this subject matter is something interesting you can engage with, add questions to, and answers to I haven't given. But peace to you all, and peace to your mind and heart today. Have a great day.